What up? What up? We're here, episode number 5, Yeee TV, and we got a real cool ass interview today. But I also got my co-host here, my boy Johnny C from Mr. 562 himself. Let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? 562. So we in the building right here. ETV. You know what's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to all our sponsors. We'll get to that later. You'll probably see some videos all throughout the interview. But I definitely want to introduce my guest. Real cool person. We're going to get to know her. We're going to break down a lot of things, a lot of real important components in a person's life. And I feel like this is going to be a real cool, the homegirl, Sydney.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sydney. I'm super excited to be here today. I'm excited to see what we're going to be talking about. And yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, very honestly, this is the most random interview. I don't know Sydney I don't know her at all. We literally just met right now. And then the homie don't know her, but we were able to talk about things off the camera where, I kind of was able to pinpoint some things. And I feel like we got some very important topics we want to talk about. But first, let's get to know you first, right?
Okay.
Where are you coming out of and where did you grow up?
So I live in Glendale right now, but I grew up in Eagle Rock, California, Northeast LA.
Nella.
Literally born and raised in LA. It's so crazy because the older I get, the more I realize that most people are from somewhere else.
Yes.
It is insane to me.
Give me an example. And break that down.
I've met people, from Arizona, from Texas.
Hey, shout out my boy Stretch Lakes, ETV, Phoenix, Arizona based, El Paso, Texas. LA has a lot of people that definitely also came from El Paso, Texas. Like something between LA and El Paso has a strong connection.
Yeah.
Los Cruces, New Mexico, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of connections. So there's those cities where we have like a deep connection with, or like our families kind of deep root back. What was it like growing up for you, siblings wise? What was your neighborhood like? What were the type of friends you were hanging out with?
Oh my God. So honestly, Eagle Rock is a pretty chill neighborhood. It's very clean and mellow. But I have one sister. She's older. We're 8 years apart. Shout out to Aubrey. She's amazing.
What was it like growing up with somebody that far apart from you? Was it kind of like cool or was it kind of like you guys fought a lot?
It's funny because it was more like a second mom.
Got it.
But the older I got, the more I got to appreciate
everything she
that
did for you.
Sort of love.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was just kind of confused because it's just damn, sometimes you just need that,
somebody to connect to.
Yeah, sister, not if I'm going to mom, because it's just a different,
with the mother, it's more authority based, and with the sister, it's more of a I'm concerned. I'm willing to give you my best advice.
Yeah, and she was both. Thank God, it's just more that other aspect to it. But my mom is from El Salvador and my dad's Italian, and
dope combination.
Hispanic parent type of stuff where it's just you're gonna
that old school tradition.
You talk to your sister so my mom, instead of my mom talking to me, it was more
it's like a chain of command kind of thing, right? You report to your sister reports to me, I report to your abuela.
Right. That's exactly how it is. So I'm just understanding so much more about myself in that way now,
What were some of the things you felt like you had a lot of trouble with growing up that your sister really helped you out with,
Wow. Okay. Yeah, when I was going through it as a preteen, it's crazy because childhood was so chill. Oh my God.
But it's that preteen stage where it becomes confusing. Everything becomes confusing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so perfectly said. Right. But yeah, it's just everything becomes confusing.
The only reason I say this is because I have a daughter who's going through the preteen stage, and I see how confused she is in school, in school with her friends, in society. The way her body's obviously changing. What was that big challenge for you, and how did you overcome it?
So, wow, this is where it gets crazy. I was just in a relationship that I needed help with, and I was like literally 12, and it's just that's just too young to know enough about anything. I feel like,
right.
But at the end of the day, like life will throw these like challenges and experiences at you, and it's for a reason,
Correct.
And sometimes you won't know until down the line as to why. And so
you're a big believer in things happen for a reason.
100%.
Got it.
Literally everything, like even down to like us having this conversation right now.
And just getting older and just like little by little, you're like, that makes sense now.
Yeah,
that makes sense now. Now I know why there's a bunch of little badass kids running around. I'm like, hey, shut the fuck up.
It's
I'm like, oh, now I know where my mom at.
My grandma's
facts, for real, facts.
Yeah, so we start understanding things getting older. Now, I want to ask this, right? I feel like this is very important, right? And probably like these are things that we never talk about within our own society, right? As a young girl going through those changes, what were your challenges in school? Let's talk about school, right? Because school is very like clique based, right? And were you kind of like a popular kid already, or were you kind of like a kid to herself and you're going through these changes and what were you going through?
What's so funny is that I've never been able to classify what I was in high school or like junior high, whatever. I wouldn't consider myself popular or like unpopular.
Okay.
I didn't know
like
what.
Neutral.
I like literally didn't know what. I just always had my friends. Like I've been friends with the same friends since like 4th grade.
Nice.
It's like so wild.
But it says a lot though.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it says a lot.
I basically hung out with them and I just did my thing. And then a big part of like my high school experience was leadership. I always enjoyed leadership just because I felt like I was actually doing something in regards to like the school and like being involved. And so I don't know, that kind of became my life in high school.
Right.
I like coordinated the dances for senior year.
You were just did you feel like you were somebody who would just always had a purpose for something?
Yes. Yeah. No, legit. Like,
and that was like what drove you, is knowing like I have a purpose for something and everything's a stepping stone and everything's is laying down the path or laying down for the path that I'm gonna eventually be on.
Honestly, that the thing you had said earlier about like, do you believe that everything happens for a reason? And I'm like, yes, 100%. Like every single little thing.
Right.
And so, as like a girl going through high school, I am fortunate to say that I always felt like I knew where I belonged, because I feel like that challenges a lot of kids that age.
And where do you give that thing to? And where did you find that? Because that's not everybody has it. I don't know if you had it in school. Like I know for sure. I didn't full on have like that leadership thing in me. I knew I wasn't a follower. I just knew like I was more of an observer, right? Like I felt like I just had to keep watching until something made sense, That's very wise. Honestly, because being the observer, I've taken that role now in life. Right. As before, I felt like I was very action based, just kind of doing, and like, I don't know, I've always had it in me. Right. I have no other way to explain it, but it's just always been internal. Everything's internal. Right. Well, that's where everything starts. This is something that I see now. It's not given, right? It's embedded in those with either the right experience or events that happen in your life that obviously make you that person, or it could be that person in your life that's raising you who's given that, which sounds like your older sister to me. Yeah. Right? Like it sounds like she kind of instilled that because she was that leader for you. She was a great example to follow by. Like, nice. Honestly, I even like thank her for even being able to go to college. She set that example. Like I don't know. It's funny you say that because she really set a great example. Yeah, it just kind of starts making sense now, right? It does. Yeah, I noticed like the older we get, because you think about it, we're young, right? Our frontal lobes aren't developed until we're like 25. So it's from 25 and on, that's when things start making sense, you know, little by little. And sometimes it could be the way somebody told you something. So crazy. Like right now. Yeah, it could be just the way somebody been like, hey, it sounds like your sister was your leader. And you're like, whoa. Shit, I never thought about that. Yeah. You're right, Yeah. But I guess it's just like the wisdom we're kind of growing up. I want to go back. You said you were with somebody at 12 years old. Is that when you had your first boyfriend? No. Fuck. It's all good. I mean, and it's look, I promise you I'm not being funny. Like there's somewhere I'm going with this, right? Because I want to tap into the importance of a father role in in a daughter's life. I see. Right. And what they always say is what the girls tend to do is go look for the men that their fathers are. right? So I wanted to see like were the boys you were going after kind of like giving you something your father wasn't, or was it just something you were like, hey, I'm just experimenting. I'm just
experimental.
But,
yeah,
okay.
That's the best way I can explain
Nice.
that. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it was experimental. I feel like that was a stepping stone into my next relationship which was pretty much like 10 to 13 years.
right.
10 years being together, and then 3 co-parenting.
Got it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna tap into co-parenting, right? Co-parenting is really, really big. These are really, like I said, we just met, but there were so many topics. I'm like, oh my god, my mind started racing. So we obviously talked about like going through changes when you're in high school. High school's over, right? High school's done. There's no more cliques. There's no more impressing. There's no more doing all that. What's your purpose then?
Now?
Right when high school's done, were you looking to go into college? Were you kind of like stuck? Like, I don't know what I want to do. Like who were you right out of college?
Going back to my sister.
Not college, high school. Sorry.
Yeah, going back to my sister. She, I believe, is the driving force that like helped me be like, okay, yes, that's the next step. Because most of the time I feel like when you don't have that example, you kind of just, I think that's where you can get stuck.
Yeah.
I saw her go through like her college years, and
Yes.
I don't know.
What did she get? Her business master's?
Business, her
master's?
bachelor in business.
Got you.
Yeah.
So she was in school for about 3-4 years.
Oh,
2-3 years.
yeah, a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you start at community college, it can kind of drag because it's hard to get classes sometimes.
And you got to do your general courses first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so that's what she did, and then she went on to like a better school, and she graduated, and that just kind of like became my default. I was like,
right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to go to college.
Did you know what you wanted to go to college for?
At first, it was psychology, and then my ex made me realize that I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I ended up.
Well, let's speak on that. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I realized that most things come from childhood that
The childhood
take
trauma.
a lot of time to unravel.
Hold on, let me knock this. Hey, calm down, Pepe. Pepe's a serenity. We can bark at anybody.
He's giving me a sign.
Go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead. I just didn't. His growling was like, I'm sorry. My ADHD was thrown off.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead. So let's
my
go
dog barks when I'm filming my YouTube channel.
Got it.
And I'm just like, girl, you killed it. Like, we were just talking.
Like we ruined the good surprise on you.
Legit. Oh my god. Yeah. Shout out to Athena.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back into that. So,
Okay.
what did you want to go to college for? You said psychology, and then you said
psychology.
the person you got into a relationship with kind of like made you change
That's
your
actually
mind.
great. I'm gonna rephrase all of that.
Okay.
Is that someone had influenced my my idea about going into psychology, because I just realized that most issues just come from childhood, and like
Yes, it's rooted.
a lot of work. Let me
Yes.
tell you, internal work for you to even want to turn that around.
Yes.
And then not everybody actually agrees to doing so.
Or that
So
they're
we
not
kinda-
ready for it.
They're not ready for it.
They're not ready for it.
It might take some time, and that
Yes.
kind of like drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But then I realized that like, I don't know, psychology still like, I was still very obsessed with the concept. So I do my own like research on
Right.
it on my own time.
People don't know that you could take psychology yourself, like
Yeah.
do it yourself, research it yourself. It's really just studying the mind and how the mind works. If you think
Yeah.
about it, what's the first thing somebody tries to take from you if they're trying to hurt you? It's your mind, right? If you do something wrong, you go to prison.
Yeah.
They mess with your mind.
Yeah.
If you're about to expose somebody, what's the first thing they tell you? You're crazy.
Yeah.
Like the first thing everybody tries to do is mess with your mind, So the moment you could understand your mind, control your mind, regulate your emotions. We're gonna talk about
Yes.
regulating emotions.
That.
Like
I love that. Yeah.
Or there's so much into it, but a lot of it is very emotion driven.
Yes.
Right. And that's why the importance of a mother in your life is big, because your mother could help you explain what your emotions mean. When a father can help
true.
you understand what like self-respect and things of that nature is, because that's what us as men got to deal with, right? The first thing we do when we meet another man is we're going to shake his hand and let him know like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and okay, that's a man right there. I could tell by the way you shook my hand. I could tell by the way you presented yourself, right? And I'm pretty sure within women, you guys have your way of doing that too.
Right.
Right. So when we talk about childhood trauma, right, what was a lot of your childhood trauma, and how did that affect you as an adult, a young adult out of high school?
Okay. You know, it's so funny. I'm so grateful. My parents have been together for as long as I've known, like even like before my sister, like 30 plus years. Right. So I grew up having two parents, right? And I just truly believe it. You know, you function a little different in that way because I've seen them just like show up for each other every day. You know, right. But I feel like what I've uncovered for myself is that like they just had to work a lot. Yes. And I was with my grandma, and she only spoke Spanish.
Being a 95 baby, your family, I could tell right now, your parents, especially in Los Angeles, were dealing with the end of the middle class. I could tell, especially living somewhere like Eagle Rock. I'm just going to go off the base of the head. Yeah. I could tell your family was the ones dealing with the end of because there is no more middle class. There used to be a time when a mother and a father could both work and sustain a life for their kids, obviously, right? Right. But then there became a point where now all of a sudden, you know, both parents got to have two jobs, you know, and now it's like way out of whack. So I'm going to take a limp and say that your parents were there after work and were able to be present in the home, right?
That's the thing, is that my dad was a teacher, and then they had a gift store in Highland Park for like 30 plus years. Got it. And that store closed at 8. So my parents got home around around bedtime, right. You know? So I only got to see them for a short amount of time. And then the weekends we like always got around with family. Right. So I don't know, I think childhood trauma in that sense, it's like I felt alone most of the time. But even though like my parents were out working, doing something like positive for the family, like they had to, like as a mom now, like you have to keep a roof over your head. Yes. That's the main priority.
And as much as you wanna make a kid understand like why you can't be there for them, they're never gonna understand. Because at the end of the day, they're longing for something. They're longing for attention. They're longing for quality time. Let's talk about quality time. Yes,
quality time.
They have some type of love language that needs to be met. Yes. Right. So what love language were you looking for? Were you looking just like you wanted your parents just to hold you and you're good, or did you want someone just to be there and spend quality time with you, or was like what was it? You know.
I'm starting to.
Hey, I bet y'all didn't know a cholo could talk like this.
This is good.
This is my bad. Hey, it's Dr. Fu right here. I got y'all. Oh man. Catch me outside. No, this is
good. I love it. This is I'm telling you, this is my thing. So.
I believe it. It's my thing too. Shit.
So I'm starting to realize now that my love language is quality time, and I think that's what it was. Is that like I had quality time with my grandma, right. And I had quality time like with my neighbors. Like
right. But that's not who you wanted it from,
right? You know, at the end of the day, it's like those people filled that void. But at the end of the day, there's a core to everything.
Yes, right.
You know, and so
it's kind of like hey, we're not gonna go to the park, but here's a chocolate bar. It's like I kind of want to go to the park, but I'll take the chocolate bar. You know, like
yeah. Not good. That's so real. But I think I'm starting to realize now. But honestly, I went through my period of time. I feel like mostly in my early 20s of being mad about that, like mad about that whole like situation of just like, my parents and like work and having to mostly be with my grandma. Right. But now that I'm older, like that's what I realized, that you just have to forgive, like for that even happening, because they were doing the best that they could
for you.
you know, like that's it.
And
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I want to kind of cross over two worlds real quick, right? Let me show you like a quick example, right? How childhood trauma is affecting everyone in every lifestyle, every form, right? And let me give you a good example, right? You're obviously speaking about longing and wanting something, right? Which obviously drove you to get the attention elsewhere, right? Where I know this is where you can relate and where I can relate and where my homies can relate, where we gang bang and we kick it with the homies and not because, hey, look, most of the time we don't even like the homies. We can't even stand the homies. The homie could be an idiot. But at the end of the day, guess what? At the end of the day, that's the homie. And you want to know why that's the homie? Because at the end of the day, that's the person you're trauma bonding with.
Yes.
So even though you can't stand and you can't like the person, hey, you guys are growing up in the same neighborhood. He's not getting something at home. I'm not getting something at home. So we're kicking it on the street because we're going to trauma bond together.
Damn.
And because we're longing for something.
Facts.
Do you see how childhood trauma comes from both sides?
Yes.
So like,
well, look at like a good movie like Forrest Gump, right? Like look at him and Jenny. You feel me? Like Jenny was getting fucked up at home. She ran away into the field. We call it Forrest. They'll dip out. That was her little trauma bond. Crazy.
Yeah, so
Damn. You ever been to Bubba Gump?
I never, but I'm about to.
Fire.
I've always wanted a shrimp boat.
Yes, it's so good.
Hey, when Bubba say gumbo shrimp, I've always wanted to try it. Never had it.
Their shrimp is
shrimp.
so good. Gotta go.
Yeah, we all got all types of shrimp. We got gumbo shrimp. We got. I was about to say menudo shrimp. Like what? Oh man, Bubba got
Why is there shrimp in menudo?
Is there?
Like why wouldn't they do that? I feel like that makes so much sense.
Man, hey, trademark by Clean Side Blaze. But let's get back into this, right? Okay, now I want to get you're talking. Now I want to get into you getting into a relationship for 10 years and then not working out, right?
Okay.
And this is where like I would love to have a conversation where transparency is everything, right? Because because I was in a very long relationship too. And at the end of that relationship, I was blaming her for everything, right? I was, like looking in the mirror wasn't an option. It's just, hey, she did this, she did that. This is why it didn't work. But when I got older, I had to look back and say, like, what could I have done differently?
Yes.
What could I have done more? What could I have done better?
Oh,
you know. So what do you, when you look at your relationship and why it didn't work, what do you tell yourself when you're asked, what could you have done better? You know, what could you have done to make the relationship work? What could you have done on your end? And then we'll get into his end.
For sure. I mean, basically everything is communication.
Big.
Everything is communication. I think.
Now, what's your extent of communication? Let's get into this, right? Because there's some women whose communication is, I need you to tell me every time the tires on that car move. And then there's some where like, hey, just, you know, check in here and there. Where like, you know, hey, I'm off of work. Hey, you know, I'm on my way home.
The first one is controlling.
Yes.
Yeah. This comes from insecurity.
Okay.
Honestly. Going into that relationship at 16 years old, and not really having like a good foundation like before that, you're just essentially trauma bonding.
Yes.
You know, like I feel like that's what you go in being that young and being like,
you become each other's crutch.
I want love, and like you want love, and like we found this connection. And
it's young.
It's
very young. So it's very vulnerable.
Yes.
You know, there's boundaries that aren't set.
Oh, right. I didn't know what boundaries were.
Nobody knows what boundaries are. But let me ask you this. Like, okay?
Literally.
Big thing. Exactly what she said. You didn't know what boundaries were, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know what regulating your emotions were. You didn't know what a love language is.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is such a big thing for us to not take upon ourselves and actually teach our kids before they get to that age? Like, what do you think is missing within like our families that isn't teaching kids all that?
It's because none of that information is like out there in your face.
Right. Until you go through it.
You have to go seek that knowledge yourself.
Right.
And that's where like, go read books, or you can follow me on Instagram and YouTube, and you can go learn that from there too. If you don't want to open a book, a
personality is everything. Because I could read a book. You're right. I could read a book. I could put my own thoughts into it. I could put my own opinions and my whatever into it. But if I'm watching a video and I could feel like this person's very genuine, like your story is so relating, it's hitting everything and every topic, then it's like, okay, I could connect to that more.
Yeah.
Right? So what are a lot of the topics that you hit on your videos, you know? What's a lot of your core focus?
That's the thing, is that it can go everywhere. And I think because of that, that's why I haven't taken forever to even like put more content out, because I get stuck thinking about where I want to start.
Yeah.
You know, but basically everything kind of touches on personal development, just becoming a better person.
Right.
And like, I think that sparked in me because of all the mistakes that I made in that,
you're able to speak on.
like long-term relationship,
Right.
you know, because like it goes back to basically all those things you were saying that you need to learn in a relationship. And then you need to learn things about yourself. Like,
Right.
how was I not a good communicator?
Right.
How was I contributing to the stress that maybe was unnecessary or came from insecurities? That's the thing, is like when you're young, you don't really have like the confidence.
Let's talk about that real quick, right? How important is August? Well, let me go back into this, right? When I had my second daughter, I was already reading into books, right? And the one thing was about building insecurities for young girls, right? And who knew that simple things like when me waking up my daughter in the morning and say, "Hey, mama, good morning, you're beautiful," are strong words for them to hear very young.
Wow.
Like, "Hey, mama, I love you. Hey, mama, you're a good kid."
Yeah.
You know, like how important those words are. Like, even though you might think they're not like receiving it,
Yeah.
it's just building their character.
Yes.
You know, so by the time they get older, they don't need the validation of another man or another young person to be like, "Oh, hey, you're beautiful." Because girls seek for that when they're insecure. Like, I need to be validated from this dude, that dude, that dude, that. I need them all to tell me that I'm pretty.
Oh, I understand.
Right? You know, so like
Yeah.
when you deal with, when you say insecurities, was it that? Were you not getting enough of like that reassurance and just like, "Hey, mama, like, you know, you're beautiful, you're a good kid."
Dude, I don't know.
No.
I wish I had an answer for that, but I really don't. Because like, I feel like I was so supported my whole life.
Yeah.
And like, my parents were always so sweet to me. And so that's the part I don't know. I don't know if it was because like I only got to see them for short bits of time that like, I don't know, I would seek validation in that way for a long time. And it got me into a lot of trouble,
Right.
you know, and that's where like I really was like, damn, I gotta change my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think you struggle with the absence of your parents working so hard because you haven't made peace with that? You can't change that, and you're never gonna get that. So you have to let that be what it is.
Within the last 2 years, that is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm
Making peace with things.
Yes, making peace with things. Like,
How important is that for people? Tell me.
Oh my God. Incredible. Yeah. God blessed me with like this situation with a person. Like, I was literally like leaving yoga and I saw him walking a dog, and I was just like, you know, we kind of had a traumatic experience. And I literally told him, I'm like, I don't know why I got to tell you, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the things that like we went through and like where it led in life. And he like.
But let's clarify that you weren't sorry for them. I mean, you weren't sorry for yourself. You were sorry for them, and you were saying sorry because you want to be able to finally close that chapter and be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, I don't wish no harm upon you.
Facts.
I don't want no evil upon you. Whatever we did to each other, it is what it is. But I just wish you nothing but the best going forward."
Yeah.
Tell me the first time you had to do that, and what was the overwhelming emotions you were getting? Because I know it's the first time I had to make peace with something, like, it was very overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, just with that experience itself, like, I left that situation after, like, I had given my peace. Like, I went in my car, like, the perfect song was on and everything. It was just like, damn, like, I was like, literally,
what song was that? The crowd wants to know.
I don't even remember now.
Damn.
But like,
it was probably a Johnny C song. You don't even know it.
But I was just like, damn, I had so much gratitude for being able to do that.
I want to know the type of music that was playing in your house growing up as a kid. What was coming out of the stereos? What kind of music were you listening to? Cumbia?
Yeah.
Like, you remember a lot of...
My mom's from El Salvador.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Hey, I didn't know.
That or 80s.
Yeah.
Rock.
What kind of rock?
Oh, man. This is where I don't have answers for you.
We need the answers.
It was just like a bunch of... it's funny because now I'm starting to realize, I'm like, oh, that's who like sings that song.
Yeah.
I literally would just hear it playing.
What's on your playlist right now?
Oh man.
Like, what do you bump when you go to? Yeah, what is Sydney listen when you're going to the gym? Like, what are you bumping?
Oh, it's a bunch of R&B.
Well, like who? Hit me.
I don't know. I'm
Alicia Keys, my number one.
Hold on, what is like? I don't know. I just came across this whole section on YouTube where it's just DJs playing a set and like they're at a party, and it's just been I was
like all
oh my god, amazing. But like I don't know. I've got a song that with Ice Spice that I'm like. What's it called? I'm obsessed with right now.
The boy's a layer. Hey, your boy know everything. Hey,
I don't know, like there's just a bunch of random stuff that have been coming up on these playlists. I don't know. I'm like throwing it back to like Jeremiah. And
Jeremiah's he's the reason Tragic was born. Man, Jeremiah, Bryson Tiller, man.
Bryson Tiller, yeah, okay.
I didn't realize how hard K Camp was.
Yeah,
K Camp is hard. Shorty ass cold, she stiff on the nigga. That shit's hard. Man, just so many. I've been getting hooked onto like Avant. Who else? Next. Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's been my girl lately. Like, I get tired of like. Look, don't get me wrong. If it ain't the homies rapping and all that, like, I can't. I know I'm getting old because I wake up and the first thing I don't want to hear is rap. Mm-hmm. Like I put some country on, I put some R&B on. Yeah, oh my god, a smooth operator. Oh my god, that's my shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty much.
I didn't even know her name was Sade. I thought it was Sade, and my daughter's like, "Dad, it's Sade." I was like, oh.
Damn, I would have not. Yeah, I would have not known that.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I thought it was Suede or Sade. It was like my little ass daughter coming like, "Daddy, it's Sade." Oh, like, okay.
Get it right.
Get it right.
For right, like for real.
I'm get around and go inside your head talking to me like that.
It's funny because I said Ice Spice. I'm like, that's not R&B. But I don't know.
I don't even know what Ice Spice is.
It's that's the first song that I'm thinking about because it's like stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is on that song, but yeah, I'm just blasting a bunch of like old stuff from high school too.
Hell yeah, I've been back into stuff. You listen to a lot of podcasts?
Oh, that's yeah. Or a lot of audiobooks, to be honest.
What are some good audiobooks you could recommend to people let's hit it right. All right, so do you have a good love language book that you could recommend?
Love language, no, but one of the most beneficial books that I've heard is essentially how to stop being so jealous.
Got it.
It's literally a whole book about jealousy because it's just one of the most unattractive like traits qualities you could have.
Yes.
And so I was very much feeling that for a long time. And I was like, we're going to dive deep into our emotions. Right. And jealousy is just one of those that you just don't ever like pay attention to.
Where do you think jealousy stems from?
It's insecure based. Yeah. You're just like.
All childhood based?
Yeah. Like.
Can I rebuttal this?
Yeah, go ahead. What's
a love that you don't fight for?
What's a love that you don't fight for?
Oh my God. That's heavy.
What's a love you don't fight for? Damn. One that isn't knowing your value and your worth.
Big thing. Big thing.
Yeah. If you're not being valued or they don't think you're worthy, you gotta stay away.
For sure. And what are some key quality boundaries women should have in order to be in a relationship? Like, what are some good boundaries to have? Like
boundaries. See, this is the audiobook that I have not listened to yet. Right. But basically, that like you got to give people space. Right. You got to give people space, and you can't overthink it. If they want space, you don't need to spiral into your mind and be like, "Why do they want space?
That's not overthinking it.
What are you doing?" Exactly.
Why do you need that space?
Overthinking. There's a reason why guys are, I feel like, at such peace because y'all don't overthink. No. Women, we overthink everything, and then now I'm trying to like tap into like a little bit of that like masculine energy. Like,
you want to know what it is that men really have that make us like this? We just have a big case of fuck it. That's right? Like, Cat Williams was not lying about this. We get sometimes. Oh my God! Sometimes. I mean. Hey, the mustache is kicking in, you know what I mean? Hey, the raw shot, homie. Hey, look, sometimes a cholo heart get broken and shit, you know?
Yeah.
No, but damn, I lost my train of thought. Fuckers.
Yeah, wait, hold on. We were
Where were
talking
we?
about boundaries.
Okay,
and, like,
yeah. So like, boundaries, right? I have to teach my son. Like, I started teaching my son. He's my youngest about boundaries, right? And people don't understand how big a boundary is, right? Or we don't even get taught it or what it is, right? But the moment we understand it, it becomes a very good quality for us, right? So one thing I told my son was, Papa, the one boundary you need to learn is to have people give you your space. And when you don't like something, you tell them, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because we don't teach our kids to be verbal or to speak up for themselves. You know, if they do something, hey, shh, shh,
Damn.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, stop.
Yeah.
We always say stop, don't do that, but we never explain why. We never give them the whys. The kids are all full of whys.
I needed to hear that.
Right. So like my son, like, or whenever my girls are pretty much independent, but my son, when he does things wrong, I had to catch myself in the beginning. And, you know, hey, I'm Latino, man. Fuck you doing that shit for, man? I'm like, oh damn, my bad. Well, mijo, let's talk about this. So you know, I gotta go back to the book. So I'm like, damn, I forgot I read a book. So I'll get into the book, and I'm like, I remember I read the book, and it's like kids are just full of whys. They just want to know why. If you explain them if you notice most of the time, a kid will give you less trouble instead of being like, hey, don't do that. Why? Just because I said so.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna always like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. So you can tell me why, you know? But if you go like, hey, don't do that because look, if you put your hand on that, you're gonna burn. Like, you're just gonna burn your fingers. And if it burns your fingers, I'm gonna have to take you to the hospital. And the doctor's gonna have to. You already answered all their questions.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's gonna be like, cool.
I won't put the fuck.
I won't do that.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm noticing like, and then what happens is like gentle and respectful parenting. That's another one.
Yeah.
Right? Gentle and respectful parenting. There's a lot of books on this, right?
Yeah. Conscious parenting.
It's so hard to implement gentle, respectful parenting when the kid keeps doing this shit over and over and over. And you know, you're trying to like, okay, Timmy, look, we're not gonna do this, okay? It's hard, you know.
But hey, mad respect for you, like taking the time to even learn about conscious parenting,
right?
Because I think that's the big reason why, you know, that time frame of like, why do you keep doing this?
Yeah.
It most of the time is how you speak.
Yes.
It is how you speak to them.
Like you said, communication is so big.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I have a big problem with tone of voice.
Yes.
I don't know, like,
give me an example.
I sound annoyed. Like, this is,
or
I
assertive.
Literally speak to my therapist about this, and I'm like, why am I annoyed? Please explain to me. Like, I need help with that.
I feel like you're annoyed because you're not at peace with something. So it's really not that's giving you the problem. It's something else.
I hear you.
So like this other thing that's coming at you, it's just an additive. Like, it's just adding on to like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what, man? You can't make the peanut butter jam sandwich yourself? How many times I show you how to make this shit? And then you're like, oh, okay, it was really not the kid. It's my husband, you know? Like, oh, okay, my bad. I'll go make you the peanut butter. You know, like, my bad. You know?
See, I think that's the part that I'm trying to get to now, is that like, I need to let go of the fact that like, okay, I'm doing this myself.
Yeah.
Like, relax. Like, come to terms with that.
Yes.
Just, okay, be here. I think the biggest thing that is helping me is like, you have to get out of your head.
Yes.
A lot of the time, I feel like people don't even realize they're spending too much time in their mind and not in their bodies.
Overthinking it, yes. They're not living within the moment, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
My dad used to always tell me that assumptions is the mother of all fuck-ups.
Yes.
Right? Because we're going to assume everything. Oh, my gosh, she's in a room with 5 dudes. Oh, my God, they're all poking her. You know, and then in reality, she's over here fucking eating some tacos with your grandma and shit. You know? Like, it ain't even what you think it is, you know? Like, because you're not okay here. You're not at peace with something. You're letting, what happens is like the other partner could have done something and now they're like, fuck, maybe they know about it.
Yeah.
Maybe they know about it. Like, I fucked with this one girl, so maybe she knows that I fucked this girl and she's fucking with these foods. Then you start overplaying it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, does that mean she's bringing a fool over my house? Well, then that's when dudes start tripping and want to start killing motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like...
That's where you have to be confident.
Yes, but that's where you also have to teach your daughters and your sons how to pick their partners, especially ones that they're going to have kids with.
Yeah.
Because someone you have a kid with is a partner for life. Even if you're going to be an absent person, you're still but you're gonna be a part of for life.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
for sure.
So like, I don't think we understand and we teach our kids the importance of like picking our partners. You know, and how important it is to like not have kids with just anybody. You know,
it's funny. I was told that for most of my life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we don't accept it. It's just like an addiction. It's just like an addiction. You're not ready to change until you're ready.
Oh.
You know, and everybody's journey is their journey. Right? Like as much as I got love for my homie, let's say my homie has an addiction. As much as I love this homie, as much as this homie is my brother, as much as I would want my homie to fucking strive, I cannot do nothing for this homie unless he's ready to change for himself.
No, that's
right.
So real. Like honestly, it's exactly that. And like I don't know why it took me so long.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
because
like
you weren't ready.
I guess so. Yeah, you have to reach
you
that
have to
point,
be willing.
you know?
You just have to be willing to let go.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to let everything go. Like, I can't carry this no more.
Quite literally.
Right.
Like, that's the whole segment that I want to get into, like, in my YouTube channel now is just, like, letting go.
Right.
Like, I wrote out a whole things that, like, I don't know, I made this line where it said, like, the only promise or, no, what was it? It was, like, I promise you the hardest part is going to be just accepting the fact that you need to let go. That's the hardest part. Because after that, like everything is just
easier.
It comes.
Yeah, it comes.
It comes, and then like you just go with the flow from that point.
Yes.
You know, and you trust in like the universe that like you're gonna be guided through all of this.
Yeah.
And so it's just about letting go. Honestly, letting go is you come to peace
with everything that you can't change. I always felt like letting go is like it's like having this big monkey on your back, right? And you carry it all your life, right? But you carry it because you're so used to it. You know, and at the end of the day, we're just the type to like, hey, when shit happens, we just keep going and going, and then we live and we live and we live. But eventually, like that feeling of letting go is like that monkey just coming off your back, and you're like, oh, I could breathe a little better.
Yes,
I feel a little more peace about things. You know, I feel a little more cautious about like what I'm gonna do next, right?
Yeah.
What I want to ask you is, what are you gonna take from your last relationship and make sure it doesn't translate to your next relationship? What do you want to see better in your next relationship?
Communication. I'm telling you, that was the
you feel like that solves everything.
It's just everything because like, you know, in emotion regulation, that's it. Is that like, because in my last relationship, it was just, we were so young and we didn't know like to regulate.
You guys both grew up together.
You know, yeah.
You guys both grew up together.
You know, and like, I thank him for that. You know, I grew up a lot, and like, you know, I can't say bad about him.
Are you guys peacefully co-parenting now?
Yeah.
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 Like
just because like you have no other choice.
But yeah, eventually it becomes like, hey, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
You're like, what are we doing? Like, what are we really doing? I had
to get past a lot of hurt that like happened from it, you know?
As much as he probably had to as well.
Of course. Right? Like, I'm not innocent. I'm not, you know, I mean,
but I think that's
on the outside, but it just doesn't, there's a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't say that to like attack you or come at you. I say that just because like I need people to understand how important it is to like, it's okay to accept liability. Sure. It's okay to say like, hey, you know what?
What is the word?
What's
like
responsibility?
Yeah. Like be responsible for like what you
take
did
accountability.
In your life. Accountability. Yes.
Take accountability. You know, just be like, hey, you know what? I too could have done better. You know, like if you address situations and issues with I to's instead of you should have's, it'll go a bigger way. It'll make conversations a lot more open. It'll make things a lot more subtle rather than hostile. Right. And that's why I asked, like, what are you gonna look for in another man to make sure like, okay, these are the qualities that I want from this man. Okay, obviously communication is number one, right? But are you looking at a man now coming from a relationship that you came from, like, okay, I want to make sure he has a strong family. I want to make sure he has a good support system. I want to make sure he has a good history with his exes and he's not a fucking player and he's not a liar and he's not a fucking scumbag or a piece of shit, you know? What are you looking for in men now after this long relationship you've been into?
I don't know, just respect. Like respect and patience and like the ability, I don't know, to like think clearly, I feel like, you know. Oh, wow, that's a good question. I have not thought about that.
Do you find it hard to agree to disagree in a relationship?
No, I used to.
Okay.
But
how would you? And I want to ask, how did you? Was the other, like, when you guys were agreeing to disagree? You know, it's usually like one person's like, "Hey, we can agree to disagree," and the other one's like, "Nah, but you're gonna fucking hear me." Like, did you deal with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And how would you end the conversation with like it being like, "Hey, we can agree to disagree," and cool, you know?
Well, being outside of that relationship made me realize like that's what I should just do.
Right.
Like, there is no point in trying to be right, okay?
Or doing this, going in circles.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Like, there's so much I have to do now being a mom. Like, I don't know, I can't imagine having to spend time, like, overthinking or, like, going in circles. Like, I've got things to do, people to see. You know, like, I don't know. Kids to feed. Like, dude.
Clothe, bathe, everything.
Yeah.
And raise them.
Like, I got no time for this. So I was just like, you know what? Yes. You want to be right? Go
for
ahead,
it.
please. Because, like, just, I don't have time.
Right.
Plus, like, I love being happy way too much. Yeah. So I'd rather
keep it that way.
I'd rather keep my happiness than to, like, I don't know. Some things matter. You know, you have to, like, voice.
But what I want to see is like, what I'm seeing is like, you're big on, obviously you say happiness is big for you, right? Does that mean like you have a big, like that's another boundary that people don't talk about is not letting nobody disturb your peace. Right? Because think of how hard it is for us to find peace, how to like get peace, you know, how to like go through this long journey of self-healing. Yeah. And then just to let somebody come and like, let me spit on that real quick. It's such a like, what? No, hell no.
That's the next thing I'm gonna learn. Right. Yeah. Just because, like, I'm telling you, boundaries is, I think, a new chapter in my life, and this is like, I don't know, I'm gonna take this as a sign that this is my next step of, like, in my journey is what, like, how to help myself with that. Right. But basically, you just gotta know what didn't work last time and just flip it. Right. You gotta flip it now. That's it.
Do you look for red flags sooner now?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, what are some like real like quick red flags that like as soon as like some of your pet peeves? What are some of pet peeves?
Okay,
I want to get into this. Okay, I'm down with this. I want to know some of yours too.
In my dating experience, like not texting every day. Like that was like, okay, you just want to fuck. Yeah. So like that was the thing. But there was a moment in time where like that was okay. You know, but then after time like passed, I was like getting kind of bored just being like, I don't know, booty call. Yeah. So like that's when I was like, okay, let me start paying attention to like, I don't know, those kind of things. Right. And like, yeah, checking out like red flags or like, I don't know, if someone's insecure and they're like, I don't know, like texting too much or saying some insecure things, like then like, okay, like, okay. Then you know, maybe this is not it.
Have you ever had a lot of experiences with dudes being very aggressive in the beginning stages? No. Just like, hey, like you're my girl now. You know, there's some dudes out there like, hey, you my bae now. They're like, so like, hey, you got a boy or girlfriend? Like, nope. Like, you do now. I could do the whole Norbit movie. I swear to God. I just,
that movie's hilarious.
Oh my God. I'll be like, she's like, Miss Bisha, you're a child. I ain't want no damn child. There's a child. Hey, your boy can do it all. So I'll show you how a bitch go down the slide.
That's too on point.
Oh, every time I get in the car, I'll be fucking with my like, God damn it, Tragic. How many times I gotta tell you stop readjusting my seat? Like, I didn't readjust your seat so low. Oh man, hey, enough with Norbit because I saw some Nacho Libre shit. Hey, but look, I want to end it off like this. I usually ask a couple questions, you know, but just kind of see like, you know, where your head's at. But I want to know if you're on an island, right, and you had to take 3 albums with you, what 3 albums would they be? Or are you just not big on music?
No, I am.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Take Care by Drake.
Ooh.
And
they're not like us. They're not like us. Oh shit. Go ahead.
I could take GNX.
Oh, hey, that album came out
bumping
hard.
it hard.
That album came out hard.
Yeah.
That shit was spooky, dookie, hilarious shit. I'll be telling my girl has her own version. She be like, stupid, dumbass, fucker, idiot.
I love it. Oh
shit.
No, I was literally just like, I was with my friends and I was literally telling them, I'm like, do you understand that Kendrick Lamar literally has all of us just saying mustard?
Mustard, yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Screaming it out. It's so fire. Oh my God, it is.
Every show he just gets to come out and everyone's in the yell.
Let me ask, Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oh, but Drake has my heart. That's the thing. I can't.
You're on
but
the
like,
home team, right?
Oh,
see, but you know,
all the Nella, get her in the comments.
all Nellas. That's right. Hey, Reverie, check in. Hey, all right.
Both artists are really great. Like, I honestly, like, I can't take a side. I really can't.
Let me do a deal breaker right here. J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh my God. I can't stand you guys. J. Cole is my favorite artist of all time. Well, you know, J. Cole did that because it goes back to not disturbing your peace. Like, just that's not who J. Cole is.
Right, yeah.
He's like, hey, J. Cole can I feel like J. Cole could really murder Kendrick and like be up there with Kendrick and Drake. That song he did that came out on
J. Cole's dope.
but
yeah.
It's just that's not who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
He stays true to
who he
himself.
is.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll never forget that though.
Yeah, okay, look, if I gotta look at it like a real hip hop head, yes, the homie fucked up. Fucking Rinker.
In LA terms?
Yeah, in LA terms, over J. Cole's a ranker, dog. But damn, that's my
I've heard
boy.
that word in forever.
Like fucker.
Oh
I see, I put J. Cole at the donut shop, homie. We were there at the fixie and shit. Top 3 movies of all time.
Oh no, this is where you're gonna lose me.
All right.
I don't watch movies.
Or shows. Like, what's the show that you're binge watching right now? You got one?
No. But top show that I could remember that like has been a big inspiration for me is called The Buried Life.
The Buried Life.
It was on MTV for a little bit in high school.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You remember that show Scars on MTV?
I love
No.
Scars.
You remember Scars?
No, I don't remember.
No, where they're showing. Remember Paproach, the band Paproach?
Damn.
You gotta know Paproach.
You're gonna lose me.
Paproach. What was that song that Paproach came out with?
I don't know Paproach.
Man, you guys are crazy, man. I feel like an old head now. This shit's crazy.
But yeah, that show was I don't know, like it inspired me. I think even to do what I want to do now. Their whole thing was like, what do you want to do before you die?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like that's gonna happen one day, and you better like start doing that kind of stuff now, because
For sure.
there's like no time left. Like that's the way I see it every day, is that there's no time left. So if you like sit in that mentality, is that you're just gonna want to like take action and do things now.
You ever seen that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake and that girl from Mean Girls, where like everything's based off of time? You ever seen that movie?
Damn, no.
You never seen it? Watch that movie In
Okay,
Time.
so
It's
it's called In
crazy. It's
Time?
called In Time, but it's like how everything is purchased with time. And like you gotta work for time, and it's like
That's a crazy concept.
it's a
I like
crazy
that.
concept.
Okay, well, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, In
for
Time is
sure.
hard. I didn't watch my other one. I love it. It's Limitless. You ever seen Limitless
I've seen
with
Limitless.
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Dope ass movie.
That would be legit.
But In Time is a good movie. But it just when I watched that movie, it just like it made me like, oh damn, the importance of time.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always been somebody that tells me, you know, you could waste my resources, you could waste, you know, anything, my money, but you can never waste my time. You know, like that's
Very
the one
good.
thing I won't allow you to do is waste my time, because I'll never for sure get that back.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like, I don't know if you guys implement this in your lives, but I know going forward, like I really rarely give people my time that like I feel just don't deserve it. Are you guys at that point in your stage? Or are you guys kind of like, hey, you know, like I'll let anybody bend my ear?
No, I mean, like I have such a tight schedule that like anyone who's in that time frame, like for me, is like I would consider it special.
Yeah.
It's special time, because there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
That's dope. What's
Yeah.
up with you?
I feel like Instagram makes it feel like you could just get talked to by anyone, but in reality, no one has to give you your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I could see you, like I say, I watch your YouTube channel every day, and I could think, oh, I could just DM her. Maybe like we could do a podcast or something. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have to give me your time. Time is just like the best thing on earth. Time is the most valuable thing you got, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Worth more than money.
filter through like what you want to give your time to, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, look, let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a hell of a podcast. Definitely different. I've been wanting to do something like this for the longest. Talk about like self healings and all this stuff and I feel like we still haven't even talked like
there's
about so much of it, you know. And I would love to have you back here and we could hit another episode because I feel, you know, sometimes you do have to put things on the back burner and live a little to come back to it.
That's exactly
and
what
be like,
happened.
let me look at it again. Kind of like you were talking to me about like mind blocks for writing. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta like put the pen down and be like,
come back.
Let me come back to it later, you know?
That's exactly what happened with my YouTube channel. I started that like almost 3 years ago now, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be with it. But like I think about it every single day. So I know that's something that like I need to be doing and I want to be doing. And it's just like, I think it's like my soul mission a little bit because I just talk about a bunch of like different like, different questions that just get you to think more about like yourself and like how we relate with others and just like, healing in general. Like I like to do a lot of healing techniques. I'm like studying on my own time and just like heart healing.
Right. Do you meditate a lot?
I do meditate. I meditate at night.
Do you know a lot about delta waves?
I do know that like there's, I don't know specifically delta waves, but like we enter different like
frequencies.
Yeah, frequencies like every day.
Try meditating with some delta waves. I promise you it's a beautiful experience. Okay. It's like a different like mental cleanse. Like I did that one time when I was yacked out and I needed to calm down. I swear to God. I sat there, someone was like, put delta waves on, and I was like, okay. And I channeled into my third eye, and you know, things got better from there, you know. That's but good. I want you to go ahead and tell everybody where they could reach you from, reach you at, and you know, your pages, where they can find you on YouTube and watch your segments as well.
Cool. So my Instagram, my personal is just Syd Janelle, SYDJEANELLE, and then my YouTube is called The Couch Theories. And I like basically that's what it is on YouTube and Instagram and I believe TikTok, but I don't know if TikTok is leaving or not.
Papa Trump need to come through. You about to mess up a lot of people's careers, man. Dude, for real, all these influencers about to hit the unemployment line. For real,
it's gonna be a long line.
Yeah, all these cholas ain't gonna know how to do their makeup no more. Sad. It's gonna be no more Aquanet. It's gonna be a sad day out here for these cholas. I swear to God. Oh my God, Chirros or Arizona, no more chaparrado, maybe a little chaparrado.
No, pero sounds so good right now.
Hell yeah. Hey, look, we appreciate you. It's been a beautiful episode. I really appreciate my guests, both my boy Johnny C and my homegirl Sydney from Polyway. What's that shit? How did you say it?
We got the Nella over here drinking chelas.
Yeah, hey, that's right. Man, it's a Yeee TV. Shout out to the Rabbit's Hole, 818 Art Supply, Puffer Smoke Shop, Legends Auto Enterprise, all our sponsors, everybody that's been messing with us, man. You know, if you go upside somebody's head because they came at you wrong, hit up my boy Jesse at fucking Bail Out Bail Bonds. He'll get you out. Hit the promo code Cleanside Blaze and he won't give you nothing. Just give him a promo. Man, peace out. Y'all have a good day.